slide we discussed. So in the law of diminishing marginal utility, these are the assumptions. So the first three are the common assumptions for the cardinal utility analysis for both the laws, which was given by Alfred Marshall, and these are the continuation of those. And these are the concepts which Marshall used in his law of diminishing marginal utility, that is the concept of total utility and the marginal utility. So total utility is the total satisfaction which, yeah, total utility is the total satisfaction which a consumer receives from all the products he bought. For example, if he bought 10 units of a commodity, means the satisfaction which a consumer received from all the 10 units added together to have a total utility. Likewise, the marginal utility, the marginal refers to the additional which is made to the total. So the marginal utility refers to the utility which a consumer receives from the last unit of the product. So TUN minus TUN minus 1. So the marginal utility is the utility which is added to the total utility by consuming the last unit of the product. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is
Yes,
the
ma'am.
last. Yeah, thank you. So this is the last slide which we discussed, I think. Yeah, okay. So this is the explanation which was given by Marshall for his diminishing marginal utility theory. So Marshall uses in both the theories, both the laws. He uses the table and the diagram to explain the law. So this is the table and the diagram is the body of the law, and the foundation is the assumptions. So if the theory was asked, means you have to start with the statement, that is the definition of the diminishing marginal utility which was given by Marshall. Don't by heart. If the meaning of the statement, that is definition, is enough. That is, you have to write what it means, diminishing marginal utility, and the assumptions and the concepts which was used. From that, the body of the theory starts. It includes the explanation, diagrams, and the last part is the limitation. So if the question was asked in the theoretical part, means any theory or law, means in economics we have to start with the statement, that is introduction, which says about the author and the theory name, and the statement of the theory, assumptions, and the body of the theory. If there is diagram, means you have to include it in it, and the limitations. Likewise, here the explanation, the body of the theory was given by Marshall with the use of the table and the diagram. Yeah, okay, so in this table we are having 3 columns which says about the quantities and the total and the marginal utilities. So here in this example, which was in the table, okay, in this example, which was in the table, the consumer consumes 9 units continuously, because in the statement itself it says the consumer have to consume the commodity continuously without any break. So according to this table, he consumes 1 to 9 units continuously, and the total utility, second column says the total utility which he receives from all the products, and the last column says about the marginal utility which he receives from the last unit of the product. So in our example, when the consumer purchases the first unit, he receives 10 utils of satisfaction. So the same 10 is regarded as the marginal utility, because unit 1 is the last unit. So for the first unit of the commodity, total utility and the marginal utility are same, because marginal utility is calculated from the last unit of the product purchased. But in our example, the first unit is the last unit when the consumer buys the first unit of the commodity. So the marginal and the total utility are the same. While going for the second commodity, the total utility was 19. Yeah, kindly mute.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes.
The case was
Yeah, thank you. In our example, while the consumer goes for the second unit, he receives 19 euros of satisfaction. That is 10 euros from the first unit and 9 euros from the second unit. So the second unit's 9 utils alone, 9 utils of satisfaction alone is considered as the marginal utility. That is, if the consumer buys only 2 units, means the last unit satisfaction, that is second unit satisfaction, is called as the marginal utility. So 10 plus 9, so the 9 is alone called as the marginal utility for the second unit, for the 2 units which the consumer buys. Is it clear, guys? Yeah, okay. Thank you. Yeah. So likewise for the fifth unit, the total utility was 40 in our example alone. So the total utility is 40. So that 40 utils includes the satisfaction of first, second, third, fourth and fifth commodity. So it includes 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 is equal to 40 utils of satisfaction. So for the fifth unit alone, it's 40 minus 34. So 6 utils of satisfaction is considered as the marginal utility for that commodity. Yeah. So for the sixth unit, the total utility increases to 44. So the marginal utility is 44 minus 40. Likewise, while the consumer is purchasing the seventh unit continuously, means the total utility doesn't change. Because why there is no change in the total utility? Consumer is continuously purchasing 6 units, and while he is purchasing his 7th unit, the satisfaction which he receives stops because he is continuously purchasing that commodity. So the satisfaction which a consumer receives from the particular unit, the same commodity, is stopped because any reason? Yes.
I think is buying regularly, like, so it become necessary thing. So
yeah, okay.
I guess.
Okay. Yeah, okay, it's correct.
Six and seven product are same. So
yeah.
no increase or decrease in satisfaction is there.
Why there is no increase or decrease in the total satisfaction level?
Because the 6 and 7 product are basically the same only.
Yeah. Okay.
So satisfaction.
Yeah, okay, correct. So he is continuously purchasing the 6 units of the same commodity, and while purchasing the 7th one, he doesn't have any satisfaction. So it's a common thing. So there is no satisfaction level for the 7th unit. If you want to ask something, yeah, okay. Okay. So on the 7th unit, there will be no change in the total utility because the satisfaction stops. That is, the consumer doesn't receive any level of satisfaction from the commodity because he is continuously purchasing that commodity. So on the maximum point of the total utility, there will be no marginal utility. That is 44 minus 44 is equal to 0. So when the total utility reaches the maximum point at that particular point at that unit, there will be no marginal utility. So when the total utility reaches the peak point at the same unit, the marginal utility reaches the point 0. So after reaching the maximum point, if a consumer continuously purchasing the product, means the satisfaction level declines because the dissatisfaction stops at unit 7. If he continuously goes for the 8th unit, means automatically this dissatisfaction starts from that unit. So the satisfaction declines from the above. So on the 7th unit, it's 44. So because of the dissatisfaction, the total utility decreases to 42. So 42 minus 44 gives minus 2. So the marginal utility goes negative. So after reaching the maximum point of total utility, the marginal utility reaches the point 0, and if the consumption continues means total utility starts to decline and the marginal utility goes negative. Is this clear, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Take your notebook and draw a diagram, the graph. Take a notebook. Measure the quantity on x-axis. Measure the quantity on x-axis, and on the y-axis the total and the marginal utility. Both the utilities should be in y-axis, and always the quantity. So plot the points when the quantity of commodity is 1. Plot the points for total utility and marginal utility. Both the total and the marginal utility starts from the same point. Here it's 10. And while going for the second unit, the total utility increases and the marginal utility decreases. Both the total and the marginal utility starts from the same point at unit 1. While the unit is increasing, the consumption is continuing, total utility increases and reaches the maximum point and starts to decline. And the marginal utility, it starts from point 10, that is where the total utility starts, and it declines and it reaches the point 0 where the total utility is maximum. So you have to join these 2 points, the maximum of the total utility and the point 0 of marginal utility. And when the marginal utility reaches the point 0, if there is continuous consumption means the marginal utility turns to be a negative one. Is it clear, guys? Did you draw? Did anybody draw the graph which shows the marginal and the total utility? Yeah, Jairaj. Okay, nobody drawn. Okay, so this will be the diagram. This is according to our example. Sorry, this is not according to our example. It's an image which was taken from the net sources for the for your reference. Here in this diagram, according to our example, the marginal utility and the total utility have to start at the same point. If in your class means I'll use the blackboard here. I just joined this diagram. It's an attachment. So this is for your reference. So the total utility, just see the shape of these curves. Total utility starts from the minimum point, that is according to our example it's 10. So it starts from 10 and reaches the maximum point and it starts to decline. So here in this diagram the maximum point is M, and coming to the marginal utility curve, it declines from the initial point, it starts to decline. So we are having a negative marginal utility, that is if it is declining means it's called as the negative part. So it slopes downwards. Marginal utility slope downwards from your left to right, and it crosses the x-axis. So at that point the marginal utility is 0. So the marginal utility is 0 means at that particular point the total utility is the maximum one. So you have to join these 2 lines M and 4 in this diagram. And after the consumption continuous means the marginal utility turns into a negative one. And when the marginal utility is in the negative part means the total utility starts to decline. Is this clear, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but initial value of both should be same, no?
Can't hear, please be clear.
Initial value of total utility and marginal utility both should be same now.
Yeah, okay, both should be same. So this is the diagram which I attached now for online classes alone. So if we are in the classroom means with the table, the diagram I'll draw and show you. And this diagram is a attachment or uses only it used in the online classes to show the shape of the total utility and the marginal utility curves. And if in our example it starts from the same point 10. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So the marginal utility, just the red color line. If the diagram changes, okay, so the red color line, marginal utility was in the diagram. Is the PPT visible? Diagram is visible, guys? Is the diagram visible? Okay, okay, ma. So this is this line, this diminishing line is the marginal utility, which was in the previous diagram, which was in red color. So we having according to our example, or otherwise the marginal utility is a downward sloping line. The initial point in this diagram, the initial marginal utility is M, that is the first unit's utility is called as the initial utility, and afterwards it starts to decline and it crosses the x-axis and being a -1. So the part which starts from the initial utility until the zero utility, it is called as the diminishing marginal utility because it's sloping downwards. So that part is called as the diminishing marginal utility. That is, it refers to the downward slope of the curve, marginal utility curve. And the zero marginal utility is the point, here it's 5. So on the purchasing of the 5th unit, the total utility will be the maximum one. And afterwards, if the purchase continues means the marginal utility be going turned into a -1. So this dissatisfaction starts from the point 0 marginal utility.
Ma'am, will
Yeah.
marginal utility, that's line always is it will always a straight line or it will change according to the data?
It's according to the dot. According to the examples, the numericals which we are choosing.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. And marginal utility always be the -1, that is slopes downwards. Okay, and the limitations of the diminishing marginal utility. And so the first thing, cardinal number system is not possible, and marginal utility of money is not constant for all the units. It's also differ to person, and also there is no empirical evidence that if a consumer continuously purchase a particular commodity means the satisfaction level which he receives from that commodity will decline. Because we have come across the people who is having the collections of rare things. So those people are like to collect more and more commodities. So while they are having more and more, the satisfaction level increases. And also the ceteris paribus condition, that is other things being equal. That is, this theory doesn't consider the other factors which affects the consumption pattern of a consumer. So that indicates all other factors are constant. So in the real world, we doesn't have any static factor. So everything is a changing one. So that also shown as a limitation. Clear, guys?
Ma'am, one doubt, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, as the concept is based on emotion or response from the consumer, how are we representing that thing in numbers?
Okay. So this is one of the assumption which was made by Marshall. That is, the satisfaction level can be measured in numbers by using the scale utils. So this is the statement which was made by Marshall for his diminishing marginal utility law. So according to Marshall, according to the author of the law, the satisfaction level of the consumer can be measured in numericals by using the scale utils. This is one of the assumption was made by the author of the law, Alfred Marshall. So according to him, the satisfaction level can be measured in numericals. That's why we have we had some numbers for the marginal and the total utility. Clear?
Yes, ma'am. And ma'am, does it always start with 10 as the benchmark as utilities?
No. This is in that particular example.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
What the?
Okay. Yeah. So the total utility and the marginal utility starts from the point where the individual person's the satisfaction level starts. It can be from 10, either can be from 100 or can be from 1. So it depends on the individual's preference. So he can say the utils in numbers. So we can start from any numericals. That's your choice. If you are choosing the numericals, means you have to draw the diagram according to the numericals which you choose, that is which is in the table, and that should be in the a sequence, that is the total utility increases and reaches the maximum point and then it declines. That should be in this sequence. Likewise, the marginal utility, while the total utility was made in that particular sequence, means normally the marginal utility was a downward sloping curve. Is it clear? Yeah, okay. So the second part of the cardinal utility analysis is the law of equimarginal utility. So this equimarginal utility also going to speak about the marginal utility, the level of satisfaction which a consumer receives. And equimarginal utility theory, in the name itself, it says about the equality in the marginal utility. While when we are speaking about the equality, means there should be two commodities to compare. So here in this equimarginal utility, the author assumes a consumer buys two commodities. Then only there can be made a comparison between these two commodities and also the utilities. So here in this equimarginal theory, the consumer is going to purchase two commodities. And here it's an extension that is this equimarginal utility theory was considered as the extension of the previous law, diminishing marginal utility law, because in the diminishing marginal utility law, the consumer buys a single commodity and he receives some level of satisfaction from that commodity. So we can compare the marginal and the total utility. So we can know about the satisfaction level of the consumer. So here in this equimarginal, we are doing the same, but it considered as the extension, because here in the second theory, the consumer is going to buy two commodities. It's equimarginal. So the consumer is going to buy two commodities and he can compare, because the utilities can be measured. So he can compare the levels of marginal utility which he receives from the two products. Is it clear, guys? Yeah. Okay, so this equimarginal utility is based on the principle of obtaining the maximum satisfaction from a limited income. So always a consumer is having a limited money in his hand. So from that limited money, he is going to purchase two commodities. For example, commodity A and B. Commodity A and B is going to be bought by the consumer, and the levels which the consumer receives from those two commodities A and B should be equal. So this is the theory of equimarginal utility, and the marginal utility is the addition which was made to the total. And here we are having MU as the marginal utility. P is equal to price, and MU of A is equal to marginal utility from the commodity A, and MU of B is equal to marginal utility from the commodity B, and P of A is the price of the commodity A, and P of B is equal to price of commodity B. So this is the formula which was given by the author. So according to this equimarginal utility, the marginal utility of commodity A is equal to P of A. That is, if a consumer purchases a commodity A, means he spends some money to purchase the commodity and he receives some sort of satisfaction from that commodity. So both are equal, the price which is spent and the satisfaction level which he receives. So both are equal. mu of A is equal to P of A. Likewise, for the second commodity, mu of B is equal to P of B. So a consumer spends some money for the second consumption, for the second product, and the satisfaction which he receives from the second product B, and these are equal. The price which is spent for the commodity B and the level of satisfaction which he receives from the commodity B is equal. Both are equal. And also this theory assumes the marginal utility of A is equal to marginal utility of B. That is, the satisfaction level is from both the commodities are equal. And here in this equimarginal, that is the assumption the marginal utilities and the total utility can be measured. So both the marginal utilities from commodity A and B are in numericals. So we can compare whether both the marginal utilities are equal. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So this, yeah, okay, guys, thank you. So this is the thing which was made as the introduction part of the equimarginal utility. So this was according to the author
Ma'am.
Marshall. Yeah.
Ma'am, can you give like example, ma'am, like product example, so that it would
Yeah.
be easier?
Yeah, okay. In this theory also we are having the table and the diagram. So while we are explaining the table part, we'll have an example and we will discuss it. Okay. Yeah, okay. So the assumptions. While other things are being equal, we are having the common three assumptions. That is independent utilities, constant marginal utility of money, and there is a cardinal measurement of commodities. So all that is the first three is the common assumption which was made by Marshall for both the laws, diminishing as well as the equimarginal utility law. And the fourth one is the prices are given, and rational consumer, that is a consumer is always tries to reach as a maximum point, that is maximum satisfaction point. So with the limited money he wants to attain the maximum level, maximum satisfaction level, and limited money income. So these are the assumptions for the law. So the first three are the important assumptions, and other thing being equal means other things, that is beyond the three: independent utilities, constant marginal utility, and the cardinal measurement. Out of these three, each and everything is constant. There will be no change in the price, there will be no change in the fashion and preferences, there will be no change in the cost of the product. Each and everything is constant. So explanation. So here is also we are having a table. So here in this table we are having the units of money as well as the utilities of the two commodities. Here we took an example of apple and banana. Take your notebook. Did you took? Yeah, okay. Just listen carefully. Consumer, according to our example, that table, consumer is having 6 units of money in his hand, and each unit of commodity from that is commodity A and B, per unit cost per unit of money. That is one apple is called, that is if a consumer uses a single unit of money, we can take it as a rupee means. If he spend a single rupee means he can buy either one apple or one banana. So each of a commodity, each of a unit of a commodity is cost 1 unit, that is 1 rupee. For example, just we are taking our rupee. So you can use anything. So if a consumer spend 1 unit of money means he can buy either 1 unit of a commodity, maybe the commodity A or the commodity B. If he spends 2 units of money for the consumption means he can either buy 2 units of apple, otherwise 2 units of banana, otherwise 1 apple and 1 banana. Is it clear? Is it clear, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
yeah, okay, guys, thank you. I need an answer. Here also Marshall made an assumption, that is the consumer have to buy two commodities, then only the comparison can be made. So if a consumer chooses that is, if he uses 2 units of money, means consumer uses 2 units of money, means he can buy 2 units of commodity, and he have to buy one each, one from A and one from B, then only he can compare. So there would be no 2 units of banana alone and no 2 units of apple alone. So if he spends 2 units of money, means there will be 1 apple and 1 banana. If he spends 3 units, means there may be 2 apples with 1 bananas, 2 bananas with 1 apple, likewise. So he can spend money, the money is limited, he is having only 6 units, and if he spends all his 6 units on the purchase of 2 commodities, means he can choose various combination of these 2 commodities. So if he spends 6 units on these 2 commodities, means either he can buy 5 apples with 1 banana, or 4 apples with 2 banana, or 3 plus 3, or 4 plus 2, or 1 plus 5. So he can choose any combination of 2 commodities, and he choose a particular commodity which he thought that will be the maximum satisfaction level, because we had an assumption that is the consumer behavior is rational. So always he changes the combination and he tries to reaches the maximum satisfaction level. So in this example, out of these numericals, we had several combination of 2 commodities. So consumer is spending all 6 units, so he can choose any combination of these 2 commodities. For example, if a consumer spent 6 units and he bought 1 apple with 5 bananas, means what is the total utility? So this is one of the combination, 1 apple plus 5 bananas. So totally he can buy 6 units from his money. So if he chooses the first combination, 1 apple plus 5 bananas, means what is the total utility which the consumer receives from these 2 commodities? How to calculate the total utility from the marginal utility? While adding up the marginal utility, we can get the total utility. And here in our example, if a consumer spent all the money on the consumption of 2 commodities, means the first combination is 1 apple with 5 bananas. So the 1 apple's marginal utility is equal to 8, and 5 bananas marginal utility is equal to 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4. So on the whole, the total utility is equal to 10 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 is equal to, it comes to, can't hear, be louder.
50.
50.
40.
10 plus 8
40,
plus
ma'am.
1 plus 40.
40. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So the first combination, that is 1 apple with 5 bananas. Just note down in your notebook. First combination, 1 apple with 5 bananas gives the 40 units of satisfaction. If the second combination, that is 2 apples with 4 bananas.
Ma'am, voice is not clear,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Just wait. லக்ஸு என்ன வைப்பா? கதவை சாப்பிட்டு சாப்பிடுவாங்க எல்லாம். Is it audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So the first combination, that is 1 apple with 5 bananas, gives 40 utils, and the second combination, 2 apples with 4 bananas, it gives the total utils of
45.
45. Yeah, okay. So the third combination, 3 apples and 3 bananas, 10 plus 9
So
plus 8 plus
48.
8, 48. Yeah, okay. So 48. And the fourth combination, 2 apples with 4 apples with 2 bananas.
39.
Is it 39?
Wait.
4 apples
49.
with 2 banana. Yeah, the total utility is 39 or 49?
49. 49.
49. Yeah, okay. So the fifth combination is 5 apples with 1 banana. The total utility is equal to
48.
48. Yeah, okay. So it won't be 6 apples plus 0 bananas, because there should be a comparison between the marginal utilities. So the consumer have to buy at least 1 unit of the each commodity. So it can't be 6 apples plus 0 banana, otherwise 6 bananas with 0 apple. So these are the combinations. So so we are having 5 combinations, and out of the 5 combinations, the combination which the consumer choose is
4 apples with 2 bananas.
why 4 apples with 2 bananas?
Ma'am, because utility is more, no?
Maximum level of satisfaction.
Yeah, okay. So out of these 5, 40, 45, 48, 49 or something else. Yeah, okay. So out of these 5, the fourth combination gives the highest level of satisfaction, that is 49 utils. So the consumer chooses the combination of fourth one, that is 4 apples with 2 bananas. So because on this particular combination only, the total satisfaction is the maximum. So out of the combination, he chooses this particular combination because that combination will gives him the maximum level of satisfaction. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Just a minute. Okay. So this diagram shows the levels of satisfaction at the marginal utility alone, levels of satisfaction of the utilities, marginal utilities of 2 commodities. In the x-axis, each line refers to the units. It's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's together. Likewise, on the right side, bananas, it's 1, 2, 3, unit 1, unit 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's also together. So each line is having a unit, each units of commodities, and which is in the vertical axis, it shows the marginal utilities of both the commodities. So on your left side, the marginal utility of apples was there. So on the fourth unit, 6, 5, 4. So fourth unit apple gives 7 marginal utility, and likewise on your right side, the second banana gives the marginal utility of 7. So the fourth banana's marginal utility, the fourth apple's marginal utility is equal to 7, and second banana's marginal utility is equal to 7. So check it in the table. The fourth unit, that is the fourth unit of apple is equal to 7, marginal utility is equal to 7, and second unit's marginal utility, that is for the B commodity, it's also 7. So the marginal utility of A is equal to marginal utility of B. So this is the theory which was given by the author Marshall based on these assumptions. Is it clear, guys?
Ma'am, can you show me
Yeah.
the table, ma'am? Before one.
Which one? Before one means?
The table, ma'am.
Yeah, table, is the table visible? 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . . . 。 . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Just I kept a table. I kept that slide only. Is it visible? Is it visible, guys? The table.
No, ma'am.
What is that in the slide?
Now it's visible, ma'am.
Not visible. Now?
It's visible, ma'am. Visible, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So in this table, out of the combinations, various combinations, a consumer chooses a combination which gives him the maximum total utility. So just according to our numericals, we calculated the total utilities of various combination, and the consumer chooses the combination which gives him the maximum level of satisfaction. Thus, according to our example, it's 4 apple and 2 bananas. So fourth apple gives the marginal utility of 7, and second banana gives the marginal utility of 7. So the marginal utility of A is equal to marginal utility of B. That is proved according to our numericals. Is it clear? So this table only shows the marginal utilities of the commodities, and fourth apple is equal to 7 and second banana is equal to 7. So marginal utility always refers to the last one. So fourth apple is equal to second banana, 7 is equal to 7. And so these are the limitations, ignorance and carelessness. So always the consumer, this theory says the consumer consumes only 2 commodities which is available in the market, but in the real world we are having so many varieties, so many substitutes, and also there will be a changes in the prices of those commodities. But this theory assumes all others are constant, that is the price won't change, but in the real world always the prices will be changing. And freedom to choose out of so many availabilities. And the last 2 dots refers to the same limitations which we had it on the previous one, that is on the diminishing marginal utility theory, because these 2 theories are given by the same author with the same assumptions. So the limitations are the same. Just take the points from the limitations. Take the points from the diminishing marginal utility law. Both the theory are having the same limitations. Is it clear? Okay, guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, ma. Don't stop with the 3 points. Limitations are continuing. Take the points from the diminishing marginal utility. Yeah, I'll download the attendance. Kindly wait.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, guys. So this is the end of the cardinal utility analysis, and we are having one more thing which is given by the same author, consumer surplus, which is in the cardinal analysis. That is based on the cardinal analysis how a consumer gains. So that is the end of the consumer surplus based on the cardinal analysis. So we will continue in tomorrow's class. Ritika, at what time you are having class tomorrow? And Abhishek, at what time?
Ma'am, tomorrow at 12:30, ma'am.
Okay, tomorrow at 12:30. Yeah, okay. And we are having class by 5 o'clock today, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Ritika and Abhishek, for Meta and Civil, we are having class at 5 p.m. today. We'll continue it.